Yeah, that is a world famous tune I composed. Stay tuned, there's a story behind that. I'll let you in on it. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I want to share a little story with you guys today about that tune that plays in the background of the intro and the conclusion. I started my YouTube show in 2013, and it's quite accidental that I started the show. It was a time when we were putting the homestead together, and I needed to come up with some money to purchase the remaining material to build the foundation under the house on which this house sat. So I looked through my stuff and found this rare vintage toy that come in a set. I had one of the toys and it was rare. I looked online to see what value it had, and lo and behold, toys like that and that toy were selling at auction for upwards of $1,000. So it's like, ka-ching, there's my money to finish building the foundation of my house. So how am I going to sell this, and how am I going to get that money? First thing I did was I started an eBay account and opened a PayPal account. And then I created a little short movie showing this little toy working. And then I opened a YouTube account and uploaded it to YouTube. And then I put the link to the YouTube video on eBay so interested parties could click on that video, see the link, and then also click on the link and actually watch the toy work. But I wasn't satisfied with just advertising it on eBay. I decided to go bigger, and I wanted a big targeted audience. I found that people who had money to spend, collectors for these type of toys, would live in cities. So I opened a Craigslist account and started selling my stuff on Craigslist, like the wheels and axles to the mobile structure that I built, among other things. And then with that, I advertised this toy, and in the advertisement I put a link to the eBay channel and instructions they can buy it through PayPal, and also a link to the YouTube video that shows the demonstration of this toy working. Then I advertised it in major cities through Craigslist all over the world, because that's where people with money would live. Hong Kong, China, Tokyo, Japan, Los Angeles, San Francisco, California, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Miami, New York, Rome, Italy, Paris, France, you know what I mean, London, England. Well, I got a nibble and I was able to sell it to an investor out of Dallas, Fort Worth. I got upwards of $860 some for it, so I was able to complete my project for my home. So that began the YouTube channel, and it segues into why and how I wrote this world famous, or I composed this world famous tune on guitar. And why is it world famous? I'm going to answer that question too. So the next video, I thought, I got a YouTube channel. Why don't I just make a video on how I built this little barn, the little red barn here on Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, out of scrap material. All the material was free. I think I only spent maybe 20 bucks, maybe a little bit more than that, in screws and paint, because I wanted it to look pretty. Yep. And it turned out pretty nice. Anyway, that was my first official video, but to make that video, I wanted kind of like a regular little show presentable on YouTube that would keep people coming and looking and enjoying what they're seeing. So I sat down here in the library, picked up a used guitar that belonged to my son, did not know how to tune a guitar, but I did the best I could. I had this little guitar tuner that I used to tune it the best I could. Now, mind you, I'm not a musician, and I don't know how to play a guitar. Never learned. So I wanted to have my own intro background music and conclusion background music, because when you're putting stuff out there and you're monetizing, eventually I thought maybe I'd monetize. I didn't want to run the risk of copyright issues. So that's why I scored my own tune, and it appeared in my very first official video. The toy video was the very first video for my YouTube channel. The Little Red Barn video was my first official video for Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. So it took me a while to pluck out the tune, and I posted it and started creating the videos. Yeah, it was out of tune. Sorry about that. As you see my earlier videos, the sound is kind of clunky. And there's two reasons why the sound might be off. Number one is, yeah, the guitar may be out of tune, and I don't know how to play guitar. Number two is, it's the equipment that was recording the audio, which I was actually using the camera that I had available at the time. It was a free camera. So I was making do with what I had. And so over time, I sat down and started perfecting my tune and trying to figure out how to tune the stinking guitar. And here's the result of, over time, from the first video where I plucked out the tune until recently. Once I got the tune in the bag, I started doing it. And then about 4 years ago, we ended up with an updated tune, and we ended up doing a reality TV show for the series Homestead Rescue, which appears on Discovery Channel and Animal Planet worldwide. Here's a little clip of my show that they actually air on that episode.
Welcome to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm Jerry Hansen, and I'll be your host.
This is a vlog demonstrating how we're struggling to learn how to be homesteaders.
Come with us on our journey.
Bye-bye. So now you see how that tune became world famous. I accidentally composed a tune. I guess I'm a one-hit wonder. I have a lot of compliments from people all over complimenting me on my tune. Here's one, for instance. What's with the face-melting guitar work? Thanks for the vid. Well, I had a nice complimentary or informational reply, and the gentleman was very kind with his reply. And here's some more. Michelle Miller says, I love your video, especially the catchy guitar song. Your farm sounds so peaceful. I liked and subscribed. Well, thank you and welcome. And also, Barbara Eiler, your guitar is out of tune. Yep, Barbara, sorry about that. Don't know how to tune it. That was dated 5 months ago, and that was... Actually, I think the audio equipment, because I recorded this current tune at a recording studio. And the current tune, with a brand new tuned guitar, I actually recorded it at Steve Miller's recording studio that he built. Went up there, and this is the tune that I was practicing outside the studio before we officially recorded it. I don't know why it sounded out of tune to you, but the guitar was perfectly in tune. And it could be just my audio equipment that I'm using at the time, because I recorded it with a Tascam DR05. So it was spot on as far as the tuning goes. So I apologize to you guys if it sounds out of tune. Let's see if we can make this happen. That sounds good, and it's in tune. And then another one, Jason Lee wrote, hey Jerry, I thought you were going to change your theme song at the beginning of 2018. Well, that may have been a misunderstanding. I'm not changing the song. I'm changing I'm re-recording the same tune, because I'm not changing the tune. No way, no how. That tune's staying. I'm not doing any other tune. That will be on this channel forever, because now it's settled, it's in granite, and that's my choice because it's my channel. And the next viewer said, that is a great little guitar tune you have for not being a musician. Yeah, they noticed I'm not a musician. And I know how to do a lot of things, but maybe I'll sit down and learn how to actually play guitar, and re-record this tune with an accompaniment of maybe a banjo and a drum. I'm actually arranging that right now, but it's taking time. And then on rare occasions, I get these compliments once from time to time. On rare occasions will I get, like maybe twice a year is all. Somebody will say, get rid of the guitar, or I demand you take that off. It needs to go. It's just like my answer to them is no. No reason. No other answer needed. It's just no. they don't like the tune, there's a volume control on your computer. You don't have to subject yourself to something you don't like to hear. I mean, there's famous tunes out there I simply don't like. I cannot stand to hear them. And I understand there's folks around that don't like my tune. One of them says like fingernails on a chalkboard. Well, that's your problem, not mine. The most flattering compliment I ever got from my tune was from a patient's husband. I worked in the medical field, bedside care, and I was going through first thing in the morning, introducing myself to each patient and letting them know I will be back to check their vital signs and see if they needed anything. And I go patient to patient like that. Well, it came time to come back to that patient, but when I first walked in, I noticed her husband's sitting in the chair in the corner, and she's in the bed, of course, and he's just watching me walk in. And I noticed him, and I was like, didn't think much of it. So I go and do my dialogue with her, and then later on I come back, and again, he watches me come in, and I do her vital signs and go through the whole routine. Then before I leave, I asked her if there's anything I need to do for her, get for her, or anything she wanted. She says, my husband says you look really familiar. And at the time, I was in many different circles in our community. I had an office in a hangar down at the airport, so I networked with a lot of pilots and a lot of people in aviation at the time. And so I asked him, was it around the airport? And he goes, no. And I go, well, I'm a pastor, so I used to do pastor's prayers for all the pastors in the communities would get together in one location. We'd pray for each other, and we prayed for the whole community. And these were pastors of different faiths and beliefs, but we had one thing in common, and that was God. So I asked him, was it with churches or anything? He goes, no. And then I had to ask him, well, what is it that you do? And he goes, well, I'm disabled. My wife and I have a little farm outside of town here. And I go, oh, so do you watch YouTube? And he goes, oh, you're Jerry Hansen, Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Do, 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 do. That was the most flattering compliment I had ever gotten in my life. I've had music producers compliment me on my tune. I have several musicians that are actually recording artists compliment me on my tune. In fact, I had a recording artist in here not too long ago. He actually sat down, took the time, and taught me how to tune my guitar. So that was cool. That was Larry Kendrick. He's a recording artist. And I've been networking with a lot of different other recording artists and things, other people. But I'm choosing to keep it simple. Not go too fancy. I may not even add the drums and the guitar banjo. I may just keep it simple and just try to improve my technique at playing the guitar. But that's the story behind the world famous tune I composed that's aired all over the world, and how it is aired all over the world. Incidentally, they chose to use my show on the, or my channel on the show, and they is Discovery Channel, the producers and directors from Discovery, from the show. At first, when they came in and asked me to set up my computer and get it on my channel and get my camera out and set it up, I asked them why, and they says, well, we want to feature it on the show. And I told them, no, I don't want my YouTube channel to be any part of this program because I didn't know. We were in season 2, episode 2, which was our first program we worked with them on. So the show was fairly new. I've seen some previous episodes from season 1, and that's why I was really hesitant about even allowing them to do it. Well, when I told them no, their chins literally dropped to the floor. After they picked up their chins and got their composure, they asked me why. And I says, well, what I just told you, I don't want my show being any part of this network thing because this is my personal project. This is my hobby. And my YouTube channel is a hobby. It's become quite lucrative since I've become retired. I'm busier than ever between my modeling, my art for illustrating for books now, and my filmmaking and doing advertisements. I am busier than a one-armed paper hanger in a hurricane right now. So hopefully soon it'll settle down. I can go on a vacation, and I would really love to fly to London and Paris. Really would love to do that. Anyway, I'm actually getting ready to do a commercial for an outfit out of Paris. But that's a whole nother story. Well, thank you guys for coming into my library, office, studio, etc., and sharing with me the story behind my inability to play guitar and accidentally creating a world famous composition. Who knew? It basically was out of my control. But it is what it is. And I don't care what people don't like. It's okay. There's things I don't like either. I don't care. Anyway, stay tuned to more episodes, if you will. I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. We're tucked in a little valley about halfway between Crater Lake National Park and the Redwoods. Yeah, that's about where we're at. Yep. Leave a comment. Tell me if you like the tune or don't like the tune. I'll read it. I'll reply. Be safe. Always be kind. It goes a long way with that kindness. It has for me. Just being kind to all men and women. It's gone a long way for me, just being kind. And it makes me feel happier. Yep. Lose the toxicity. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye now.